Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we're talking about this week's Johnny Depp story. Depp is recently facing yet another personal controversy, this time over some comments he made about assassinating President Trump. Before we get to that video though, let's do a little backstory, because a little context goes a long way here. Johnny Depp is an actor who rose to prominence in the 1980s on a TV series called 21 Jump Street, which in recent years has been remade into a popular film franchise. But back to Johnny Depp. In the 90s, Johnny gained further fame on the big screen, starring in a slew of movies directed by Tim Burton, including Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood, and Sleepy Hollow, not to mention his critically acclaimed roles in Donnie Brasco in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So in the 90s, like most people, I was a big Johnny Depp fan. He was everywhere and he had a lot of great hits. Needless to say, by the 2000s, Johnny Depp was an international film star, but he didn't just stop there. Depp would go on to helm two of the biggest money-making film franchises of all time, Pirates of the Caribbean and Alice in Wonderland. As a result, by 2012, the Guinness World Records dubbed Johnny Depp as the highest paid actor of all time, with earnings around $75 million in that year. But like the disaster movie of the same name, 2012 may have been the beginning of the end for Johnny Depp as well. Although he's still been in successful, well-made movies like 2015's Black Mass, Depp has also suffered a number of disappointments in the last 5 years. Dark Shadows, Transcendence, and Mordecai all bombed with critics and moviegoers. And worst of all, Disney's high hopes of launching a new film franchise with Johnny Depp as Tonto in The Lone Ranger, well, that movie was a disaster, to say the least. So in a few short years, by 2016, Depp had earned the dubious title of Most Overpaid Actor in Hollywood. That pretty much brings us up to the present, where not only is Johnny Depp's professional film career in jeopardy, but also his personal life. Prior to these outrageous comments coming from Depp this week, Johnny has been facing controversy after controversy for the last year. In May of 2016, Johnny Depp's then wife, Amber Heard, filed for divorce and 5 days later obtained a restraining order after claiming in court that Depp had verbally and physically abused her. Now, I doubted these allegations at the time, but look at these pictures. Someone had to be hitting on this girl, and I don't mean flirting. Also last year, Depp cut ties with his management company, accusing them of improperly managing his money. Uh-oh. Looks like this wife beater is now broke, single, and his film career is spiraling out of control. None of his movies seem to work lately, including this summer's Pirates movie, which proved to be a lackluster sequel at best. With all that said, we can now better see why Johnny has been out of sorts lately. I'm not defending the guy, I'm just saying, his life's been going to shit. Now let's take a look at Johnny Depp jumping in on the new trend for the libtards in Hollywood, talking about assassinating President Trump. Let's check it out.
Can we bring Trump here? I think he needs help.
I think you need help, Johnny. You sound fucking drunk. I guess that $30,000 a month this hack spends on wine is getting him pretty sloshed.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
I think one of the worst parts here is hearing everyone in the crowd cheering Johnny on.
I want to clarify, I'm not an actor. I lie for a living.
That and this reference, his reference to John Wilkes Booth is just horribly tasteless. It's one thing for Kathy Griffin to take some edgy photos about killing the president, or those people who put on that play that had a scene of Trump getting stabbed. Those are pretty bad too, but Johnny Depp here is referencing an actual assassination of an American president. That's what he means by saying, when was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
An actor assassinated a president.
It was when John Wilkes Booth, an actor who was pro-slavery, I might add, well, that asshole shot Abraham Lincoln in the back of the fucking head. Honest fucking Abe, the man who freed the goddamn slaves. And Johnny Depp here is mocking his assassination, and he's suggesting another actor assassinate our current president. What a scumbag. Now don't get me wrong, I could take a joke, but this is just cringy and not funny at all. This is just an old desperate actor trying to cling on to relevancy by saying something his douchey liberal cohorts will eat up in Hollywood. If you really want to joke around about John Wilkes Booth, you should do it like the whitest kids you know.
Well, you weren't really worried about the South seceding from the Union either, and look what happened there.
I was worried about that. That's all I... Oh!
Sic semper tyrannis!
Ow! What does that mean? What is that, a phone book?
Sic semper tyrannis!
Purity!
This is also a good time to bring up why this assassination was doable for an actor like John Wilkes Booth. Well, first of all, actors are trained liars and schmoozers, and famous actors can also get inexplicable access to VIP locations. And this is part of how he got Lincoln. Wilkes Booth was an actor who could get into the theater. He knew his way around there too. It's kind of like how in the movie Zoolander, they use male models as assassins, because not only are they in peak physical condition, but they can also get into anywhere. And this is another reason Depp's suggestion is so despicable. He's not only referencing a successful presidential assassination that involved using an actor like himself, he's also saying it's time something like this should happen again. And the ending where Johnny says maybe it's time is just the worst.
However, it's been a while. And maybe it's time.
Maybe it's time, Johnny? Maybe it's time for you to move off your cash chucker island in France and come back to the real world here in America. Why not try living with us peasants for a while? Then you might know what the fuck is going on in our country. Because on top of all of this, I don't even see why you hate Trump so much. He hasn't done anything that bad, and you haven't even mentioned any of your qualms with him. It just seems like you just don't like him, and that's all. And it's not time to assassinate a president just because you don't like him, Johnny. It's time for you to sober up, get your shit together, and start acting in good movies again. No one cares about your politics, Johnny. You're about as well informed as a prisoner in isolation. I will admit your life and career are going into the shitter though, Johnny. But that's not because of Trump or politics at all. It's because you're getting old. You drink too much and you're not picking the best scripts anymore. Or maybe you're just making too many damn movies. I don't know. Just figure it out and stop blaming Trump for all your problems, you loser. What do you guys think? Is Johnny Depp breaking down? Was his allusion to John Wilkes Booth crossing the line? Did anybody see that new Pirates of the Caribbean movie? Comment below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. See y'all next time. A special thanks to these amazing Patreon supporters. You guys are the best. You guys went above and beyond the rest, and I love you so much for it. If anyone else wants to donate or join our Patreon crew, link in the description. We're going to be setting up more videos and live streams very soon. Thanks again.